Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Well, today we're going to make a new dress for our little doll. We're going to turn her into Snow White. So we're going to do the little hairband here on the top of her head for her hair. And we're going to make this little dress that comes down to her ankles. Now it is going to take rather a lot of bands. Here we go, we've got the little white collar on the neck here as well. Alright, it will take quite a few bands. The colours we're going to need are red, blue. I've used the Rainbow Loom Ocean Blue, and I've just used the regular red, and then I'm using the opaque yellow for her skirt. Alright, so we're going to get started. And as I said, this is a dress-up doll, so I think it's quite fun to be able to do things like this. What we're going to do is start by chaining 40 of these yellow bands. So what I want you to do is get them in little piles. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and our last pile of 40, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So there's 40 bands here, okay? And we're going to keep those in that little pile there. We're going to take our hook, okay, and wrap this around just once like that. So it's a figure 8 on our hook, okay? And then we're going to start by chaining our 40. And you just slide it on like this. Now this is the same way that we do the crochet cuff bracelet, which I have on my channel. It's also the same way that we made the first dress for our little doll. So you're just doing a normal chain stitch. Oops. When you have gone through this little pile, then you know you've hit 40, which is a very good thing. Saves you having to count in your head. Alright, so there's my 40. Alright, just like that. I'm going to get one more band and chain one more. I'm going to keep that on my hook. Now I'm going to slide my fingers down to make sure that it's all straight, that there's no twists. Okay, I'm going to grab hold of my little end cap at the end here and bring it up to the top. I'm taking this side off, popping my end cap on and replacing that side like that. So this little area here with that extra band that I have is going to be my join. Alright, so take another single band, pop it on the end of your hook, and you're going to pull it through those 4 loops like that. Don't do anything, don't put one over the other, just leave it like that. Then we're going through this first stitch here. Now I'm talking about the first stitch, not the end cap, okay? So here's our first stitch. Push your hook through, and we're going to do single crochet by going one over the other like that, and then pulling this little loop through these two like that. All right, and then we're going to go all the way around, and we should actually, before we go further, put a stitch marker on here. So let's get my little stitch markers out, put our little stitch marker on here. That's how we know that that's our first stitch and where we need to end on. So go into your next stitch and do a single crochet, and we'll work all the way around doing our first round of single crochet. Now you're actually going to do 20 rounds of single crochet, but I want to do these first couple with you. So this is our first round of 20. And I'm not going to be doing all 20 with you because we'd be here all night. Oops, runaway band. Single crochets all the way around, and it will look a little lumpy at the join to start with, but once you get a few rounds under your belt with this, it will actually start to look a little bit better. But when you first start doing, you think, oh my goodness, there's a huge great big lump here, but that's going to be at the back of her dress, and it does start to look a little better as you do more rounds, as I said. Make sure that you're not twisting this, so you don't want to twist it and be going under here. You want to make sure that you're still going in the right part of the band ahead, so from the top like that. Now you'll find when we get to the join that it does get a little bit tricky. We do have to do a little bit of fancy footwork to make it line up properly. So again, keep making sure that you're not twisting this in any way. Alright, you just want to make sure that you're going in at the same spot on each of your loops. So here I am for my next one, so I go through here. Here, and this is where, can you see what I mean about it getting a little tricky? This is my first stitch here, but see how this is all sort of messed up. Well, this is where I need to go. Okay, if you hold this straight, this is the band that I need to go in here, but it's kind of twisted. You will have that. There's not much we can do about that because you have that end cap there. So keep going to your next stitch there, and now we're going to go into our first stitch. So this is the bit where it's sort of crossed like this. All right, so go into your first stitch here, and now we're starting our second round. Put those together, move your stitch marker. All right, so you will have that little hole, but don't worry. And as you can see, you've got that little cross there, but don't worry too much about that. Now I'm going to flip this in like this because I like this knotted part to be on the outside, not the V. Okay, so I'm flipping that in this way so that as I go around, and you can count as well, that was our first stitch here. Okay, if we undo it, well, we can't really undo it, I've put my stitch marker on it, but that was our first stitch. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, and there's our 41st stitch there. Okay, so we do have 41 stitches. And we're just going to go around doing single crochet. Now, if you like, the other thing that I do to count how many rounds I've done is I know that I want to do 20 rounds. So I put out 20 little bands. Well, I'm on my second round of 20, so I need 18 bands. So I'm going to put them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. So every time I start a new round, I'm going to take one from that little pile. Okay. And we're going to do in total 20, and then we start a couple of decreases. Well, actually the next 14 rounds after that are going to be decreases, but we'll do them a little bit, they don't go specifically in order, so we'll do those 14 rounds together. All the way around. Make sure you don't skip a stitch. Remember, you've got 41 stitches. Now if you hadn't added that extra stitch, you would have 40 stitches. Until it starts forming its shape, it will sort of curl up on you a little bit, so just kind of straighten it out when you need to. Oopsie. Now, if you add a stitch here or there, it's really not going to worry too much. It's not going to change the pattern too much. So if you have 38 stitches or 39 stitches instead of 41, or if you have 43 instead of 41, it doesn't matter. Yours might just be a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. There's still enough room, and there's still enough stretch in the bands to be able to fit our little doll. So sometimes on YouTube I have the comments of, I've only got 37 stitches and I've done it 3 times, I'm going bonkers. Don't worry, there should still be enough fiddle factor there to make it work. So that was my last stitch. I'm going through my first stitch again, so I take it from this pile here, and I'm going to keep going around in single crochets. I move my stitch marker and around I go again, okay, and it is going to form a tube, and that's what we want. And I'm going to take my hook out here. When you have done 20, you will end up with something like this. Once you've ended up with something like this, and I'll count my stitches. I've got 1 on my hook, which is here, and a cat hair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40 and 41. So I have 41 stitches. Okay, so that is what we're going to be working towards. Keep doing your single crochets, your round of single crochets, no increases, no decreases, until you end up with this. All right? Okay, so now over the next 14 rounds we're going to start decreasing. All right, and we're going to do our decreases a little bit differently. We're going to do what's called invisible decreases. All right, so what we're going to do, put your hook in. I have got 14 little bands counted out here. These, I'm going to use those to count how many rounds I'm at. All right, so firstly, I'm going to take my first band from here. I'm going to start by doing a decrease. Now, to do this decrease, the invisible decrease, all I'm going to do, normally when I do a decrease, I go through the first stitch and then I go through the second stitch, okay, and you pull your band through. Well, it can make quite a big bulky feeling to it. So the way to do an invisible decrease, now I was going to just say, in crochet, another way to do it is to actually skip that stitch and go to the second. But that leaves a gaping big hole, and we have no control over the size of that hole because we're not using yarn or needles to, a crochet hook different size to control the size of that with the tension. So to do an invisible decrease, instead of going through the front stitch and then the second stitch here, okay, the first stitch and the second, you're going to go through the back loop only. So go through on your first stitch, instead of going through both loops, go through the back loop, and then you're going to go through only the back loop of the second stitch. So you've got the 2 loops there, and then your loop here is for your other stitch. Okay, take a single band, pull it through those 2 loops and do your normal crochet like that, and that is how we're going to do an invisible. So just do 1 in this round, okay, one decrease, and then all the way around we're just doing single crochets. Move your work around, and it will get, this is a long dress, so it will get a bit bunched up. And if you feel where you did that decrease, you should find that it's not as bunched up because you've only used the 2 little loops instead of 4 little loops. So it shouldn't be as obvious. So this should take us down to 40 stitches because we've done 1 decrease. I see another cat hair. That's an added bonus in this house. My cat is officially 20 now. So all the way around until you get back to that stitch marker. Now we're wanting these decreases to be gradual so that it doesn't sort of look I'd like to see how Google translates that sound. Alright, so I'm back to the beginning. Go through that first stitch. I take one from this. Now my next round, I did a decrease in that round, so this next round is just going to be single crochet all the way around. Move my stitch marker. No decreases in this one, okay? This is where we did that first decrease. So we're just doing single crochet all the way around, no decreases for this round. In our next round, again, we will do one decrease. And you're going to pick a different spot on the skirt. So the first round we did of this, we picked right at the beginning. You might pick this one to be 10 stitches in. You might pick it to be in the middle. You might pick it to be at the end. It's completely up to you, but we're going to sort of randomly pick where we do these decreases so that they're not all on the same spot. And between each round of decrease, you will have a round of no decrease. So we had decrease, and this is no decrease. Our next round will be a decrease, and it will be followed with no decrease. We're doing that for 14 rounds. And the 14th round will be a little different. All the way around. And you should still have 40 stitches because we haven't done a decrease. So I'm back to the beginning. I'm going to take one from here, and this is the round that we do our decrease. So there's my first stitch. Move my stitch marker. I'm going to count to 10. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this will be my 10th, and I'm going to make this my decrease. So these 2 stitches, here's my next stitch. I'm just going through the outer loop and then the outer loop of the stitch following, like that, okay, and do my invisible decrease. And then just continue round with single crochet. So I now should have 39 stitches. Oops, go through both loops. There we are. My last stitch for this round, and we're going to follow it by a round of no decreases. So pop my next stitch in. I took one from this, my count, change my stitch marker, and all the way around just doing single crochet. Okay, and that's where we had our decrease, and you really can't see it terribly much at all, which is a good thing. Make sure you don't skip a stitch. And again at the end of this round, because we have not done a decrease, you should have still 39 stitches. My last stitch for this round, go in through the first stitch, take one from this side. We're going to be doing a decrease on this particular round, so take my stitch marker off, put it through. That was stitch number 1. I'm going to count to 30 now because we counted to 20 before. So do you see that's where my little stitch was before that we decreased? You can't really see it, not terribly badly at all, which is fabulous. So let's keep going round. We're going to count to 30 this time. That was number 1 in this one, so this is here. By the end of this round we should have 38 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, whoops, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, there's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and this is 30. So I'm going to go through the back and the back of the next one. Alright, so I haven't gone through the front loop, just the 2 back loops, and pull through and do a slip knot just like normal for a single crochet. So that was 30. This is 31. I'm just going to keep counting. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, So I'm at 37, so I've probably dropped one somewhere. But as I said, it's not going to matter. Alright, 37. So this is back to my first stitch here. Alright, push my hook through, take one from this round. We're doing a single crochet all the way around with no decreases. Alright, no decreases at all. So let's go around. And as I said to you, if you've increased or decreased 1 or 2 stitches too many, it's not going to make a difference. If you do between 5 and 10 too many, yeah, it's going to make a difference. I mean, it will. I'm going to move that just so that you can see me a bit better. It will make a marked difference if you're doing that many, but 1 or 2 here or there is not going to cause too much of a problem, as long as you don't do it all the time. All the way around. Oops, come back here, tricky. Each stitch having a single crochet. Back through my first stitch. I'm going to take one from the bottom here, and we need to do a decrease this round. Put my stitch marker back in. Now this time I'm going to do the last 2 stitches as my decrease. Alright, so I'm going to go all the way around doing single crochets, and then on those last 2 I'm going to do my decrease. My goodness. Fumble fingers strikes again. Bending this over so I can get to it. So I get to my very last 2 stitches, and I must not forget to do my decrease on them. Right, so I'm nearly there. I'm going to go through this one. I'm going to do my decrease. I've got 1, 2, 3 stitches. I'm going to do these last 2 here. 1 and 2 as a decrease, and then I have 1 final stitch as, whoops, as a single crochet. So let's do the decrease. Like that, and then 1 final stitch as a single crochet, and then go through my first stitch with my band from the other little pile, and we go around doing single crochet, no decreases. Alright, so let's go around and do that. I told you this is going to take up a lot of bands. All the way around, just doing single crochet, come back here, band. back to my first stitch again. I'm going to go through that first stitch, take one from this pile, and this is my round of doing a decrease. Move my stitch marker. I'm going to do my decrease again. I'm going to start at the beginning. We just finished doing 2 here, so my next one I'm going to do through the back stitch here and the back loop here and do my decrease, and then continue around through both loops, single crochet all the way to the end. It's very helpful having that little pile to the right of me, so I know exactly how many rounds left I have to go without having to stop and write things down. Oh, if I could pick up a band it would be nice. You see how it's beginning to sort of curve in. My next round is going to be single crochet all the way around with no decrease. If I can get through this round. Oops, my stitch marker's come off, but I know it was here. These ones are actually quite cool because you can lock them. You can see they've got a little clasp here that you can lock. Okay, so I'm pushing through my first. This is the round where I just go round, just doing single crochet, no decrease. I'm going to move my stitch marker. As I said, let me show you, you can lock this so it doesn't fall off like it just did. Lock it into place. So all the way around, single crochet, no decrease. Let's count. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, whoops, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and our last stitch is 36. So you've got 36 stitches. Let's go through our first stitch. Take one from here. You're going to move your stitch marker. And we're going to count 10. This was number 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9, and on my 10th I'm going through the back loop and the next back loop to do my decrease. Just the 2 back loops, okay, for my invisible decrease, and then all the way around again with single crochets, if I don't undo everything that I've just done. Our next round, when we get back to the beginning, is going to be just single crochet all the way around. taken my last stitch for this round. I take one from this, so I have 2 more rounds after this. Push my hook through, change my stitch marker, and we're doing a whole round of single crochet, no decreases. I believe that is my 35th stitch, so let's have a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 35. So I've got 35 stitches. Now, these last 2 that I have here, these last 2 rounds, both of these rounds are going to have a decrease, alright? So you can pick where you want the decrease to happen. It really doesn't matter. I had gone around 10 last time, so I could do 20 for the first one and 30 for the next one. So what I'm going to do is go through my first stitch, take my band from there for my counter, and move my stitch marker. I'm going to count round 20, do my decrease. And then for that other one, I'm going to go around and count 30 and do my decrease. If I don't mess this up, there we go, 1. And this should look like a gradual decrease from 41 stitches to about 33 stitches, I think it will be at the end. So it tapers in at the waist. I said I was counting, didn't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it doesn't have to be exact. And here I'm going to do my decrease. So again, I'm going to do the invisible. I'm going to go through the back loop of my next stitch and then the back loop of the stitch next to it. Pull back my band and do my decrease and then continue around through both loops. Doing my single crochets till I get to the end. It's actually a horrible band, it's all thick and nasty, so I'm going to throw that one away, otherwise it'll look odd. And this is my last round, so I'm going to take my last band, and again I'm going to do a decrease on this one, even though the pattern has been decrease, no decrease, decrease, no decrease, decrease. These last two you're doing decreases on. I'm going to count 30 and do my decrease. So that was 1, 2, oops. And I'm going to go through, this is my single crochet, and then I'm going to do through the back loop and the next back loop, just the 2 back loops. I'll do my decrease and then finish off with 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and let's count how many stitches we have. Alright, so our stitch marker is on the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33 is on our hook. So see how that has sort of tapered in. Now I was going to use the ocean blue opaque bands, and I don't actually have enough, so I'm going to be using the limited edition deep sea blue for this particular top. It's a little bit different from this one. As you can see, it's the rounded, the cylindrical bands, but I think it'll work just as well. So let's have a go. What we're going to do, we're going to sort out a little pile here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're going to have a little pile here on the right with 11 bands, and we're going to do 11 rounds of single crochet with the blue. I'm going to show you a couple to start with, just so that you can see the colour change, and then we're just going to keep going until we've done our 11 rounds. So poke your hook through your first stitch here, take your first one from this pile, pull it through and add that little yellow band onto it as well, so you have all of them on that blue band. Take your stitch marker off and pop on the front, the one facing to the front of your on the outside of your dress. You don't want it on the inside of your dress. Okay, we're going to go through our next stitch, which is right here, and again with a blue, pull it through. So you've got 4 loops. You're going to take one over the other for that one that you've just done, and then you're going to pull this little loop. You're going to let go of everything. You're not going to let go of everything. You're going to pull this little loop through. Oh, and these bands are weird to work with. I've got to get used to them. Through those 2 loops like that. Okay, and that is how we do our change. And then we're just going to work our way around doing single crochet all the way around. These are a thicker band, so it feels a bit odd, but that's okay, we can make it work. If you have the opaque, it is easier to work with the opaque. But I do think these will look pretty. And I should mention, I mean, this is how I'm going to do all of my princess dresses, with the different colours and stuff like that. For this is sort of the pro forma, if you will, of the pattern for the length and how I'm going to taper it up to the waist. And depending on which princess we'll do, I guess depends on the sleeves that I'm going to do for our little girls. So all the way around, single crochets, not doing any decreases or increases for this. It's just 11 rounds. So at the end of it, you should still have the same amount of bands that you had here. For me it was 33. Hopefully it is for you too. Feel weird working with thicker bands that are rounded, but not bad. not sure I'd be wanting to do too many decreases with them. We'll see how we go, shall we? I think the shiny look to it is rather pretty. Nearly at the end of this round. And the reason I want to do this round with you is I want to show you the colour change, how we make it so that it's practically seamless. I do have a video on that on my Loomigurumi tips and tricks if you need a little bit more help. So here's my last stitch in the yellow. Then if you have a look on this blue, you've got the 2 this side and the 2 loops this side. The 2 loops this side have your stitch marker in. These are the 2 that you're going to go through. Alright, so go through those 2, grab from this pile because we're starting our new round, pull it through, do your normal single crochet and move your stitch marker to that band. And if you can see, that's kind of dragged it up so that it's in line with each other rather than being underneath it. Now at this stage we've already done, we went through those 2 blue ones here. You're going to ignore this pair of loops here. That is part of your first stitch that we didn't go through those ones, we went through these ones. So this here is your next stitch. And we will continue going around in single crochets. And we're going to do this until our little pile here of 11, which is now I guess 10, is finished. So I will meet you back up when we both have finished doing 11 rounds in total of single crochet with our blue bands. Okay, so I am back. I've done my 11 rounds with the blue. I have to say it did take quite a while using these these rounded bands, but that's okay. One of the things I thought I'd share with you is how you can count a round. I'm not sure if you're all completely in the loop with that. In the loop. If you have a look here, you can see you've got the line that goes, the little band that goes across, and one that goes up slightly at an angle. Okay, and it goes across in a row. That is 1. And then you hop up to the next one, and it'll be at a slight angle to it because they're never above each other. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and this one here is 11 at the top. So that's how you can count how many you have. Now, the thing that we want to do next is add our sleeves. We've got to make our sleeves, and if you sort of marry this up, I'm using this knobbly bit where I change colours. I'm going to put that at the back because I think that's, you know, it needs to be hidden, so put that at the back. Alright, so this is my front, this is my loop that I'm going to be in, and this is showing where my next stitch, that's my first stitch there. Okay, now to do the sleeves, and I've done one, this is my little sleeve. In my first dress, what I did was I actually had the bit with the red at the bottom like this. Okay, but this is quite a big space for the arm, and the arm fits actually quite nicely through here. So what I might do is do it the other way and actually have it so that the blue comes down to her arm here, and this bit where we have our join is where I'll hide here on the actual dress so that you won't actually see that join. All you'll end up seeing is the sleeve and a very tidy little tie-off band, but you can do it either way, it really doesn't matter. I am going to do it this way with my starter right here on there. So I've done one, we need to make another one, so let's do that together. What we're going to do, let me get my other dress out of the way. We need to chain, so if you remember how to chain, and we need to chain 15. So 1, 2, oh that's a horrible band, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm going to have one extra because we're probably going to do that. I'm going to twist it to a figure 8 like this, and I'm going to chain my 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, now if you have a look here, this is where I joined it. Alright, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This one little here is 16. So I'm going to take one more and do this like that. Now I'm not going to reclaim this. I'm going to flip this up. I'm going to make sure that it's not twisted in any way. So you want to make sure you can hold it like this. Alright, and we're going to put our hook through here, the end cap, and then reclaim the other side of our band. Alright, I'm going to take a single band and pull it through. Now, we have to be very careful. You don't want this to twist over. You want to make sure that you're going through the right spot on this. So the first thing we're going to do is do a single crochet followed, our pattern rather, is a single crochet followed by an increase. Well, this is going to be our single crochet. Okay, so we're going to go in to the first stitch, one over the other, and pull through those 2 loops. Now in this stitch we're going to do an increase. So here's our first single crochet, and then back through that same stitch and do your increase. Single crochet and an increase. I do have to say these bands are more difficult to work with for doing Loomigurumi, but they do look nice. So be prepared to work for your result if you're using these. Oh, try and catch the band. There's my increase, single crochet, increase in this one. Oh, I'll try. Single. Now, as we get to the end here, it does get a little bit tricky because you want, we've done an increase here, we're going to do a single here. Because where we've joined them together, it wants to twist. All right, now we need to go up here. This is where our loop is going to be. So we need to do an increase. You're going to leave this little band here. Can you see? It's the this one here is our end cap. All right, this one here is our end cap. So you're sort of wanting to leave the end cap, but this one here needs to have an increase in it. That's another band, but it's kind of being twisted. So untwist it and do your increase like that, and then you're going to skip this bit where it sort of crosses and you're going to go up here. All right, so you're going to skip the one that goes from the top to the bottom, all right, and pop your hook in here. This will be a single crochet. See how it joins it up, and this is where you will put your stitch marker, and that will show the beginning and the end of our rounds. Okay, so it does look a bit messy, but that's going to go on the inside of our dress at the armpit area. So we're going to be going around. I'm going to flip this. I don't like the V's, and it's sometimes when you join it, it's quite difficult. You're just going around, so I'm going to flip it the other way like this. I'm going to merge it into shape here. I'm going to turn my hook, and I'm actually going to go this way around. Okay, so the slimmer end of my teardrop is where my hook will be. That was my first one. Now this is my second round. What we're doing is a single round of single crochet. Okay, so just going around and doing a single crochet in each. And you can turn it round at the end, it really doesn't matter. But what you want to make sure is that you have the same side pointing outward. Now when they're doing crochet with yarn, they put the other side out, facing outward. The side with the little V's points outward, and it looks really nice. But if you look at it in bands, the side with the little V's doesn't look as nice, I don't think. It's just a personal preference thing. I prefer the little side with the as you see it here. But if you look in here with these little V's, I feel that that looks a bit messy with the bands. It doesn't look as messy in yarn. So round we go, single crochet. Oopsie. All the way around till we get to the beginning again. So here I am back. That was my last stitch. I'm round at the back here at the beginning. Now, what we're going to do at this point, we're going to add our red bands, okay, because they get joined in at the in the next round. Now, it's a little tricky, and I'm going to show you how to do it. We're doing 3 little chains in red, okay? So you're going to have some red bands available. Now what you're going to do, go through this your first stitch with a blue. We'll do a single crochet, and it's all single crochet, so don't worry. Move your stitch marker. Let's get ourselves organised. Right, we're ready to go. So what you're going to do, this was our foundation chain. This was the chain that we started on, okay? We're going to work in the post, this post here, okay? So what you're going to do, take your hook. You're going to approximate. You can't really go in this one because it's a little bit too close. So we're going to approximate. We're going to go in this one here, and you're going to drag a red band through it like that and reclaim. Okay, I'll zoom in so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So we've sort of left this one a bit late. You can't really go in here because we've already done this. So we'll go into the next one, which is here, and you're working on your foundation chain. This is where we're going around in our round. So you've gone back down to that first chain, red band, pull it through, take another red band, you're going to chain one, and then you're going to chain another. So you have 3 red bands in a chain like that. Okay, hold it. You're going to go through your next stitch, okay, which is here. Push your hook through your next stitch like that. Add the chain to it, all right, and then take your next blue and you're going to pull all the way through the 2 red loops and the 2 blue loops for your chain, for your stitch, and do a normal single crochet, and you have it trapped in here. Okay, then we're going to count sort of 3 around. So 1, 2, 3, and then on the 4th one, again we're going to go. We're not going to do this one because it's a little bit close, but this one is the next one. We'll go in here, and we'll take our red band, pull it through, and again chain another one. And another one. So you've got 3 little red bands, pinch it. Now I probably actually want it to go on this stitch here, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to hold this like this, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to chain in this one a single crochet, and then in this next one, all right, I'm going to put my little red bands like so, my blue, and I'm going to pull that blue through all of them and do my single crochet. See how it's sort of straighter that way? And again, it's up to you how many you do on these. I'm doing, I think it's like 5. All right, so I'm going to count around 3 again. 1, 2. Oh, that's a dodgy band. Let me get rid of that. 3. Now let's have a look. I can do this one this time. I'm going to go in here because that will be the stitch that marries up to it. I'm going to pull my red band through. I'll chain 2. So here's chain 1 and chain 2. Take it off my hook. Push my hook through my stitch, put my little red bands on, and with my blue band, pull through all of them and do my single crochet. Okay, let's count through another 3. 1, 2, 3. So let's have a look here. I think I've sort of skipped 2 every time here. So 1, 2, probably this one here. I'm going to put my hook in. I'll pull my red band through like that. Now to join it up, I want it to go to this stitch here. So I'm going to do a single crochet in this one. Put my hook through the next stitch. Oh, actually, let's chain up 2. Duh. Here we go. 1 and 2. Take it off, push my hook through, pop my little red bands on, grab a blue band, flick it at my monitor, and pull through and do a single crochet. So I have 1 more to do, and I'm going to do my last one here. Okay, so I'm just going to put my little red band there so I know that it's going to go there. If I can get it off my hook, maybe 1 more over. 1, 2, oh, maybe here. really doesn't matter, it can be wherever you like. So let's chain around until we get to there. 1, 2, 3, and I'll do one more. 4. I'm going to build up my little red band. 1 and 2. Now you're making 2 of these. I've already made 1, okay? I'm going to poke my hook through here, pop my red bands on, and pull through and do my single crochet. And I'm just going to do single crochet in blue till I get to my stitch marker. Okay, so I'm back at my stitch marker. So I've done my little reds, as you can see. All right, I'm back to my stitch marker. I'm going to do a round of single crochet in blue. So this is my first stitch. Let's move my stitch marker like so, and around we go. A dodgy band. I'm nearly back to the beginning. 2 more stitches. Here's my beginning. I'm going to push my hook through. I'm going to do a single crochet and move my stitch marker like so. Now we need to do 2 single crochets followed by a decrease, and we're still going to do the invisible decreases, okay, which was the 2 outside loops. So that was my first single crochet. Next stitch we'll do a single crochet, and now a decrease. Go through the first loop of your the outside loop, okay, the back loop of your next stitch and the back loop of the stitch next to it, and we'll just do a decrease like so, and then 2 single crochets follow. 1 and 2. Now we do the back loop and the next back loop and single crochet them together like that, and 2 single crochets through both the loops. 1 and 2. A decrease again, like so. Pull through, and then 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. Back loop, back loop. One, oopsie, and 2, and back loop, and back loop. One, oops, through both. 2, and then back loop and back loop for our last decrease, and do a single crochet in your first stitch and move your stitch marker as you drop everything first. There we go. All right, so we're going to do that again. We're going to do 2 single crochets and a decrease. So that was 1, 2, and then the 2 back loops and decrease. 1, 2, and then the 2 back loops for your decrease. Then finish with 1 and 2. Back to the beginning. So to tie off, you're going to go through the first stitch, take your stitch marker out using one of your bands. You're going to do a slip stitch, so go through the first stitch and add your loop that was on your hook and tie that in a tight slip knot. Now, to hide that little slip knot, you're going to turn this inside out just a little bit. There we go. And you're going to go through some of the V's. So just push your hook through the V's and drag it down. And do it, I tend to go down through some of the rounds so that it's not just going around in the same round. So I've sort of gone down 3 rounds like that to hide it. Okay, just like that. So when you have it back this way again, there you go. As I said, I'm going to use that bit for the arm and attach this bit to the actual dress either side. So pause the video, you're going to do another one of those, and we will catch back up together when you've got 2. So to attach the sleeves, what I've done is I've taken that bit where we have joined the colours in the back here, this little knobbly bit, all right? I've placed that in the centre and I've flattened this down like that. pinch it at the sides, and where you see the two bands here on one side, I'm going to put a red marker band. I'm just putting a red band there, and I'm going to mark it. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So that's this band, this pair, this one here. Put a red marker band. Now, this is going to be my center point for them. Okay, I'm going to do it a little tighter. I don't want it to come undone. All right, this is going to be the center for them. I'm also going to go to either side. Okay, so 2 from here and 2 from here, and on this side as well, 2 this side and 2 this side, to join them. All right, and when I join them, this part here, which is the end cap, as you can see, there's my knobbly end cap. Okay, I'm going to count that as my center one, which is going to be married up with that red band. But as you can see, that means I need to go to this side to match to this side. So let's get started. This is where my hook was, so I'm going to take that stitch marker out. As you can see, my first stitch is sort of here on this next stitch. Okay, I'm going to take that out too, because we really don't need to worry about this at this stage. So I'm going to push my hook. See how that's the center? This is 1 and 2. So I'm going to push my hook through my dress. I'm going to say, okay, this end cap is going to be my center one where the red is. I need to go 2 bands down. This is my first one. This is my second. So I'm going to put that on my hook like this. I'm going to take a blue band. I'm going to pull it through those 4 loops and do my single crochet like this. I'm going to do the same for the next stitch. I'm going to push through my next stitch here, and I'm going to add my next stitch on my sleeve. And again, take a blue band, pull it through those 4 loops, reclaim, one over the other for my slip knot, and then do my one over the other for my single crochet. I'm now at the point for the center. I'm going to take that red band off. Okay, I'm now going to go through. This is the one side. Now, for your end cap, you've got the 2 sides, because it's not like a little pear shape here. You've got, you know, both sides of it. I'm just going to go through 2 loops of it, not all 4. I think if I went through all 4, it might be a bit bulky. So I'm going to go through the 2 loops that are closest to me, and again pull my band through. Okay, do my single crochet. I have to do 2. Move my dress around. Go through this next 2. If you remember, I said I was going 2 either side of the red. So I'm going in here. Pull through the 4 loops and do my single crochet. And my last one here, go through these 2 and these 2 here. And pull through the 4 loops and do my single crochet. Now what I'm going to do is continue around my dress, okay, until I get to the second stitch before this red marker band. So I'm going to turn my dress. This is my next stitch. I'm just doing single crochet. And then we will add the next arm on. Move my little dress around a bit. So 1 and 2, so I have 3 more stitches to go before I get to where I need to add my arm. Sometimes you get the most horrible looking things from your bags of bands, don't you? Okay, so this is my last stitch for around the neckline, And now let's turn this around a bit so that I'm facing. Find my knobbly bit here. There's my end cap. My end cap is here. This is my end cap here. So my two bands is one there and one there. So I'm going to go through my second from here and through the two that are on my sleeve and pull through and do my single crochet. Then I go through my next stitch and I find the corresponding one on the sleeve and pull through and do my single crochet. I'm going to take my red marker band off, go through that one, and remember what I said about going through just the two loops that are closest to you on that end cap. Oh, that's a dodgy band, let's not use that. Go through and do your single crochet. We have two either side now, so this is our first one on this side. One, and here's our second, and marry it up on the sleeve. And now again we go around the back and we're going to finish sort of around in the middle here, okay, just doing single crochets. If you remember, our stitch marker to count where we started was right where we attached this sleeve. But we want to kind of try and keep things in the centre here now. So as we go around like this, we know which is the front, we know which is the back. Now these are too floppy. If you just leave them like this, it's just too floppy. Alright, so what we have to do is kind of build it up. We also want them to be a little bit more decreased in the centre here of the sleeves. So let's go around to complete our round. Now what we're going to do next, as we get to the sleeve, we're going to join that in to the body of our main dress. So here I am here. Okay, I'm going through this stitch, but this next stitch here I'm going to go through alright, and now I'm going to work my way up the sleeve. Like this. Now if you feel that's too big of a loop, alright, you can do another stitch. We've already done one in this, but you could do one in this little spot here as well to keep it tighter. So pulling one through that little spot there to keep it tighter helps. And we're going to do a little decrease as we go around the arm. We're going to do the invisible decreases. So just do, we did our first single crochet, we did single crochet on the sleeve, and then we'll do a decrease. Okay, and then we'll do a single crochet, and we'll do a decrease. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Move around a bit. I'm going to do a single crochet, and a decrease, a single crochet, and this will be my last decrease here. You see it on the outer loops only. And then I'm going to do single crochet, and start back in, and you've ignored these, but we're going into this loop here. Okay, you want to, let me try and show you, this one was part of the sleeve, the join, so you're going to go into the next one. All right, I know it's a bit tricky, but you want to leave that gap there for the arm. Single crochet, and then you just single crochet till we get to the other sleeve, and then we do the same thing. And you see how that's narrowed this down a bit, so that hopefully it will sit and fit on her shoulders nicely. So we're at the front of her dress now. Nearly where the sleeves are. Oopsie. Come back here, you. So I'm going to do one in this stitch. You want it to be as tight as you can as far as how close you're going to be to the sleeve. So one in this stitch. Now we move into this little stitch down here, okay? Undo that one so that you don't have a hole gaping. Do this one next. So you've got 2 single crochets on the front end of the sleeve, and then you're going to do your decrease single crochet, decrease single crochet. So now we're here, okay? We do a decrease, and a single. And a decrease, move your dress around, and so that's our decrease and a single. Monkey band, and a decrease, and a single, and our last decrease, and then we're doing a single, and then attach it to the rest of the sleeve, the back here. Oops, being fumble fingers. Put it through like so. Move to about the middle here, and then we're going to try the dress on her to see what we need to do. So I'm going to put a stitch marker in, get my little doll. I might have to undress her. I think she's wearing a different outfit, you know. Mine has such a large wardrobe. So here we go, this is her. So let's get our little doll. This is a new little thing I'm working on. And the t-shirt that I'm working on. And let's try her dress on her. Making sure that you put her in the right way so that the back is the back. Pull her legs down. wiggle her in. Let's try these puffy sleeves. There's one. And let's try the other. Now you want those to be on her shoulder. And I think that that's going to be okay. We might, let's see if I can zoom you out a bit. There we go, that's as far as I can go. I think that's going to be okay, but we might probably maybe do a little decrease here and try and just, we'll do one more round maybe, and just do a decrease in the back, a decrease in the front, and try and merge this in just a little bit more. But as you can see, this is how she's looking in her little dress. Okay, so we'll do one more round, decrease in the front, decrease in the back, just to give it a little bit of tightness, and then we'll work on her headband. Alright, so let's take her out. Careful with her stuffing, okay? You might need to, the more times you take her in and out, you're sort of going to have to put her stuffing back into shape. I'm sorry, being undressed on camera, it's terribly undignified, isn't it? Alright, so we're at the back. So at this stage, I'm actually going to change from the back along here to white. So I'm just going to go back a few steps. I'm just going to take this one out, and I'm going to take this one out. So I finished my blue just as I've done the sleeve here, okay? And I'm going to change to white bands. Now the reason I'm changing to white is because she has that big collar at the back of her dress. So if I change to white, we can start building that up. I still have my red bands out because we are doing her headband. So to do the change, I'm going to go through with a white band, add that blue loop to it, and have it just like this on my hook. And then I'm going to come into the next stitch. I haven't done anything with that one. And do my little slip knot and pull it through. Now I'm going to put my stitch marker on here. Even though it's white, we know that that's the first stitch, but I'm just going to pop that on just so that it is secure. So I'm doing single crochet. I am going to do a decrease here by going through 2 of the back loops of the blue and pulling a single white through if I can. Let's try that again. There we are, pulling it through, and then keep going with my decrease with my single crochet. I'm sorry. There we go. Now I'm going to go around the arm. With the white still, through each stitch, oopsie, come on. I'm trying to do it so that you can still see what I'm doing without getting out of camera range too much. So that's that one. I'm in the next one. Now at this point I'm going to change back to blue for the front. Okay, so my next stitch is here. I'm not going to do the funky colour change, I'm literally just moving into the blue. Okay, I'm doing blue across the front here, and I am going to do in the centre a decrease. Oopsie. Now, am I at the centre? Let's check. I'm pretty much in the centre. Let's do our decrease here. So go through the 2 back loops, do our decrease, and then continue. This will be my last stitch in the blue. I'm changing to white for this little stitch here, mustn't forget it. Pull through, there we are, and we'll go round. Here's my next stitch, around the sleeve doing white. If we don't drop all our bands first. Now, when we get back to our starting point, we're going to be doing some back and forth rather than rounds. So we can still, we've just completed this round, and we can still go forward to the end of our whites here. Oops. Oh, come on, you silly thing. There we go. Make sure you get each one. This is my last stitch from the blue. Alright, at this stage here, do you remember for our colour change you've got the 2 front here, the 2 back here, go through the 2 back to pull them up in line. We're going to continue doing single crochet. I'm going to move my stitch marker. I'm going to move it to one that I can take on and off quickly and easily. There we go. Skip this one because it's part of the other one that's behind it, so that's your next stitch. Now you're going to do single crochet until you get to the end of the white. We're not going to move forward into the blue at the front. So we're just building up this white area that we have here. Now at this spot, what we're going to do is go through. Okay, we're going to go through here, pull your white band through and add the loop that is on your hook to it. Okay, then you're going to pinch, turn your hook around the other way, and what we're going to do is do our crab stitch, or our reverse single crochet. So our next stitch, we're going to go in this way, okay, and pull back, and we're doing a backwards single crochet. Now the other thing that we will be doing is making it stick up. That will be on the next round. So pull this back through backwards. And if you need to look up on my YouTube channel on how to do this, it's the reverse single crochet. You're going through, and it is tricky. Come on, go through the right place. There, I'm going to move my stitch marker because we really don't need that there at this stage. All the way till we get to the beginning of the white. Go through the front, the last white, pull through all of it, hold, pinch, and move your stitch marker to the front again like that. Your hook, I'm sorry. I'm going to put a stitch holder just here for a second, as I want to try this on my little doll. Okay. So I popped my dress on my little girl, and I've squidged this together, and this is roughly about where I want to, these two red marker bands are where I'm going to do single crochets here, but coming up, working on the post and coming up here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll do the same on the other side. So I'm going to pop my hook back through here, take that stitch marker out, which I was just holding while I shoved her in her dress. So I did the slip stitch, so I'm going back in here. Now, because I want to work in the post, what I'm going to do is go in through this little post bit. Now, if you don't know how to work in the post, again, I have a video on my tips and tricks for Loomigurumi, and it will allow you, well, it will show you how I poke my hook in like this, and I'm working on this little post bit here. So I'm not working on the stitch, I'm working on this little bit here, doing single crochets, but it moves the angle of the crochet for the where we're working. I guess it's changes the direction. That's what I'm trying to say. So here we go, between the two stitches, to make this stick up. And you only have to do it the one time to make it change the direction, and then you just do single crochets and it will follow the direction that you've set. Hey, come back here, no unraveling. There we go. I'm going to move my dress around a bit. As you can see, I've got this one here. I'm going to move that stitch mark. So see how that has made it sort of come up this way? It's come up at an angle instead. And now for these, I'm just going to continue doing single crochets until I get to the other red marker that I have. So that it was 6 or so there. I'm not working in the post for these, I'm just working on the stitch. We're not doing a reverse single crochet at this stage, we're just doing a normal single crochet. Oops, just one band. Here's my little marker band. I'm going to take that out and turn my dress around. And again, I'm going to go from the side. So usually I would work from the top. I'm going down the side here. So on the inside of my stitch, and then popping it through. And as I said, that changes the direction of our work. I should say, you don't have to put this on at all. If you don't want to put the white collar on, you can just have stopped. The dress fits, it looks okay. So poke through the post there. Now this is my last spot, so I'm going to go through, add my, so I did a slip stitch there, pinch, turn my hook, and if you remember I'm coming back the other way. See how these are sitting up now, so I'm going through from the reverse, so I'm going from the inside to the out. Alright, and I'm doing my reverse single crochet, or I'm trying to. There we go. This will sit up. They're just single crochets that I'm doing backwards. And they are tricky. But if you can see, it's sort of sitting up now, like this. Okay, so let's continue around. Back is not, because we didn't work in the post there, we just did a single crochet like normal. Oopsie, come on, there we go. Are we good? Do I need to redo that stitch? Ah, we're good. I think I'll probably find this the hardest stitch to do. Oops. I wonder if you're left-handed, does it make it easier? Oh, I messed that one up. Let's try that again. And this is my last one here. Actually, I'm going to do my slip stitch on this one. Alright, so there's my one. I'm going to push my band through, add my loop, pinch, turn, so that it's tapering. And again, push through, and we will just do single crochet all the way back. And you can make this as high as you like or as low as you like. You don't really need to make it terribly high if you don't want to. You could make it just like that if you want. Let's put our stitch marker in and see how it looks on our doll. And you might think that this is quite high enough. There we go. Let's move some bands out the way and grab our little Izzy Bizzy. Push her legs down as far as they will go. Grab them from inside the dress. Pull her in. I'm going to get her little arms. Stuff those in too. Gosh, it's like dressing a real child that's not cooperating. Get in. Alright, so how are we doing here? See how the collar is? So, it depends on you. If you want it any taller than that, you can. I think that's quite tall. And I might just finish at that. I'm not going to make it overly tall. I think that's, I mean, it could go a little higher, I guess. But I'm quite happy with it. How it is, I'm going to leave mine at that length. If you want to go taller, completely up to you. So, to tie off, we can do it with her in it. I'm going to just go through my stitch, go through my next stitch and do a slip stitch. So through, add the loop and tie off nice and tight, and then you're going to just hide that on the inside here under some of these V's that we have. You can see these little V's on the inside. You just push your hook through. Try not to go through the front bands. You want to just discreetly hide it down the back here like this, and then again, as I did before, I work down the back of the outfit so that it's not just going across one row, it's going down a couple of rows. There's another loop there I'm going to go through and tuck it in. Come here, you, like so. And that is how I did her collar. Now, she needs to have a little headband, a little red headband on the top. So let's do that as well. And fix her collar up a bit. There we go. So for the red headband, red bands obviously, and we're going to chain 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so we've chained 11. Now chain one more and then go through. You're going to skip this this loop here, go to the second loop in here, the second chain. So you skip that, skip this chain here, go into this chain next to it, pull through, reclaim, and go through like that. And then we're going to work our way down each chain, doing a single crochet. Now I have two little black buttons. I've chosen black because she has black hair, but it's up to you what colour buttons you choose. They are going to be on the inside of her hair. Whoops, come back here, you. And at this point here, whoops, there's one more chain to go through. Let's make sure we go through each and every one. Pull this through. Do a single crochet. Now grabbing the two loops that make up the end cap, so you've got it like this. Okay, you've got the end cap here and you've got your loop on your hook like that. What we're going to do, take your first button. I have looped already my band in it. Okay, got my band either side coming out the back of the button. I'm going to put one side of the button on my hook. I'm going to move the end cap and my loop on like that, get the other side of my button band, pull it up and over, so like do my little slip knot like that, and then I'm going to splay this side out and pop it through the button like that to secure it. On the other side, I'm going through that extra band that we added. Here it is at the end here, okay? And again, I'm going to grab one side of my button, pull it through, grab the other end of my button, pull the band up and over, there's a snag in it there, splay it open, and pop my button through the centre, if I can. There we go, to tie that into place like that. So this is going to be her little headband. Now she has a little bow in the middle. All we need to do is chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this is number 8. Alright, go back to chain number 6. This was 8, so 7, and this is 6. Okay, you're going to go through 6 like that, do a single crochet through and through those two, and then you're going to single crochet all the way down to the bottom, just like we did for the headband. Here's my last chain, so do a single crochet in there, do another single crochet in there, and we're going to actually snip this end cap off. We don't really need it. I'm going to grab my scissors. Now please make sure you're just snipping the end cap, nothing else. Snip that little end cap off. So you're going to do another single crochet in the last chain like that, okay, and then move down to the next chain. So you did 3 in that end one, and we're single crocheting back down the end here, the opposite direction, you're going to do 2 single crochets in this last chain, 1, and then go back through again for your second. Now, going through that extra band that we had, you're going to take a single and do a slip knot like so, and we're going to hide that down the base here, and I go through the bands in the middle here like this. Okay, I'm just going through these center chains that we did, and the way I'm doing it is I'm splitting them because there were two sides. So I've got one side this side, one side this side. I'm just going to pull that back through just like that. Okay, now at this point you can spread it out a little bit so it's not so tight. What we're going to do, this is that little tie-off band that's still in the middle. Okay, what you're going to do is work out where the middle is in this. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. So 6 is the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about here. Okay, this is the middle. We need to attach this to this like that in the middle. And the easiest way to do it is to get a couple of bands, start with 1, move it through, figure 8, oops, figure 8, and join together, and then the same again, another one. Now if you know a better way of doing a bow that's small, feel free, please do. This is just the way I've done it. But it can be any kind of little bow you want. I'm just doing a little bow that will sit up on her hairband like this. If you want these a little tighter, again, just link them through another time. That's absolutely fine. Just to keep the little bow bit in place, like so. Grab her little head. Now you want the bow to be in the middle, and you want these bits to be either side. So pick a spot that you think it might be a good little place to poke your button through, and pop your button through one side like that, and then find a corresponding spot on the other side of her head, and again pop your button through. And this is so that you can move, you can detach it, and you can put her hair, change her hair, you can put the little buns on either side for the next outfit or whatever you want to do. But that is how I did her little bow for her hairband, and here she is really in all her glory. It's a bit difficult to see because this is such a large doll, but there she is. Here's the back all the way down to her toes. So that's her little Snow White outfit. I hope you enjoy making it. I know it's a bit fiddly. Take care. Bye.